Welcome everyone. I want to welcome you to class 2 of Introduction to AAVE. Today we're going to be exploring the distinctive phonological features of AAVE and examining several key sound patterns. For the overall discussion, please just think about the systematic nature, cultural significance of how these words are represented and how that influences both media and literature. Today's goal is to understand the rules behind AVE's unique sound and see how that differs from standard American English. We're going to be analyzing these features and see how they're used in various media types, and further understand how language functions as a marker for identity. Up here, you're going to see just a few of the different types of phonological features we'll be discussing. I'm going to give you a second to read that. And keep in mind, phonology is the study of the sounds of languages and how the manifestation of that influences the discourse between two or more people. We're going to move on to the next slide. So first I want to talk about the final consonant cluster reduction that you see in AVE. And so in standard American English, you'll see des, and we might pronounce it as des. Why would that simplification be important? It's not just for ease of articulation, it's also a carryover from the historical substrates that we discussed in class 1. And so you'll see commonly used, and even in rap music, where they utilize this constant cluster reduction for like stylistic effect and also rhythmic flow in speech. And so when the two consonants share similar phonetic features, it becomes voiceless. And so it's often deleted. Desk, desk, hand, hand, cold, cold, west, west. And in the plural formations, we see it similarly. So tests versus tests. They fixed the car. You'll see he saw the test yesterday, and then he saw the test. And so that secondary t doesn't come out. We actually drop that. And that's very systematic. As I said, it's not going to be a random feature. In addition, AVE will see the interdental fricative sound, the, can be replaced depending on where it starts in the word. And so if it's at the end, you might see with become with and this become dis, where it sends to that hard D sound instead. And so you have to think about how these changes might affect a listener's perception during the conversation. So we'll look at this his book versus this is his book. And we'll also see that copula deletion. That dog friendly. That dog is friendly. They don't know about it. These are good. I don't like that. I don't like that idea. And then on the end, so they see the fronting, the voiceless interdental fricative with I fit to think about it. She went with them. She went with them. Brush your teeth instead of teeth. And you mean they don't take a bath every day? And you see bath, bath will sound almost interchangeable to an AAV speaker. But to a non-speaker, they're going to notice it a lot more standing out as being odd. As part of AAV, G-dropping is probably one of the most well-known features. It involves the dropping of the final ing sound in words like running, becoming running. And note that this feature is used a lot in the informal context and is widely used in hip hop and everyday conversation. And so while it's not maybe necessarily specific to AAVE, the increased usage is very distinct. And so you'll see things like she's singing beautiful, we gotta go fishing today. They talk about something. And so you see that reduction or deletion of the final word when it's in the nasalar position frequently realizes a softer ing sound. So I wanted to bring up verse 2 here from They Not Like Us. And he says, you think the bay gonna let you disrespect Pac? I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop. Dig cold foul. I don't know why you still pretending. What is the owl? Burnt, burnt, go. The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go no further. I promise. Oops, I can go further. Ain't that something? BRAD stands for and you Malibu most wanted. Ain't no law, boy, your ball boy, fetch a Gatorade or something. Since 2009, I had to jump in. Yep, got a wedgie, be flipped over your boxes. What's OVO for? The other option. Better straighten their posture, got famous all up in Compton. Might write this for the doctorate. Tell the pop star quit hiding. A caption, one action, no accident, and I'm hands on, eat and get polished. Oh, Wayne's girl while he was in jail, that's conniving. Then got his face tatted like apologizing. And so you'll see here where there are multiple different things that we've already discussed. So you have your G dropping, you have the TH frontal, and then you also have the copular deletion all in just this one single verse. And it's used to influence the rhythm and flow of his speech and also give it a little more authentic, um, I would say, descriptive features that we're known to have in AAVE. A common example too is the metathesis in AAV where pronunciation of words like ass becomes ask. And this is not random at all. It actually follows, again, a historical pattern that was observed in many of the English dialects. And so it highlights the internal logic of AAVE that you might find in, works of African American authors and again in rap. I go back a lot to rap because it is its ability to capture the voice of AAV speakers in prose is very important. And so the expected order of consonants are reversed. And so you'll see here asterisk becomes asterisk. Afternoon becomes afternoon. I don't know. I don't know. And even animal becomes aminal. And so you'll also see it if people have certain like Caribbean accents, accents that animal will come out a lot. It's just a way of switching the two because it has a more natural feel and flow when you're having the convergence of your original dialect and now your new dialect. So when they are bridging the gap and the pidgin starts becoming an actual Creole. Another well documented phonological phenomenon is going to be the pen merger. And so before nasal continents, the vowels sound of words like pin can be merged into pen, often resulting in similar pronunciations. So the merger is one of the key markers of the AAV vowel system, and unstressed vowels can be reduced to a sound which is very short and unstressed. So for instance, we'll have certain like I left my pen on the table, or house will be pronounced more like about or similar to. So you would say, even with the reduction of certain words, you'll see in like history versus history, America becomes America. Supposed to be becomes supposed or supposed to. Probably will become probably. And then you see this stressing, this elongation, is shortening of it, and everything becomes everything. Fire will become fire. Tire becomes tire. Tower. And that also will show you the combination of two different features. So, for instance, brother becomes brother or brother, bro, bruh. And so that's what I wanted to go back to talk for a second about how it showed how words and AAV slang will change based on geographical context as well. And so while you say bruh, bro, broski, those are all evolutionary changes that you'll see as the language develops and is influenced by urbanization. And so the initial shortening of the word starts with the historical context, but then we have the cultural context that further mitigates that change. So the non-roticity of AAV, it can change. And so again, we talk about how geographical context is very important. In urban styles, we'll see that R is reduced. And so the variable for this particular phonological phenomenon is very context dependent. So you might see a lot of people saying, oh, I go into the stove, he took it to the car, her father's here, or her father's here, it's near the park, And so not always will they drop that R, but it can happen a lot, especially when you look at, like I said, urban or certain southern cultures where they be like dough, stow, and it's just rhythm of the speech again will influence how that manifests in their everyday conversation. I know this was a shorter class than before, but I took some feedback from you guys, and so I really want today to be rather to focus on this side by side standard American English and AAV conversation. It's very short. I just wanted to point out some of the things that we discussed. So the copulation, the G dropping, the substitution, showing that it's consistent and rule governed because this is how we would say these phrases, and everybody when reading or seeing it who speaks AV, it feels natural to them. It has an overall rhythm and authenticity of the dialogue. When compared to standard American English, it kind of changes how the conversation is rendered. And so I want you to be able to take this and expand upon it. So look at a piece of dialogue from film, TV, you can look at a song, a book, and write a short, not white. That's a different phonological, a language phenomenon there. Can somebody tell me in the comments what I did there when I put white instead of right? Get extra points for that. Otherwise, I'll post it in a couple hours. So anyway, a short analysis identifying at least three phonological features, and then describe how these representations either challenge or reinforce stereotypes about AAVE speakers. So, for instance, is the author also a person of color? Because that can change the connotation, the authenticity, and how that contributes to the portrayal of the character and its setting in the narrative. So that's what we'll have you guys do for this class. And then in our third class, we're going to be talking more about AV and grammar. And so we'll continue it on, and I'll have a few excerpts as well. Um, Love to see what you guys are going to say in the comments and continue in the dialogue. And as always, drink your water, hydrate, and protect your edges.